And this is why you take a nap during the day if Aaron Rodgers is playing in prime time. You can't miss the fourth quarter where he takes it to another level. Over the last 3 years, 24 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions in the final frame. He gets it done. Rodgers pulls it off in the clutch. A perfect way to send him and his teammates into the bye week. Reaction to the game, to the comeback, both sides. C.J. Beathard brought it. What do you got, Nate?
Time and time again, he impresses us. Time and time again, he shows us why he's one of the best quarterbacks in this league. Yesterday, I was out running errands, and I passed a house that's getting ready for Halloween.
Okay.
And there's just decorations everywhere. And it's one of those homes as a kid, you hesitate to walk up, you know, because you're like, oh, I might get scared that something's going to pop out. It really freaks you out.
Yeah,
it's like the worst sight when it's supposed to be such a great night. I felt like that's what defenses feel when they see Aaron Rodgers in shotgun in the fourth quarter. It's the worst possible sight, and it gives you fear because you know that you're going to be scared and something is going to pop out and get you, and that's Aaron Rodgers. He popped out and he made play after play after play. It is the worst fear for any defense for him to have the ball in his hands in these moments, for him to keep looking at the sideline and say, one more, one more, one more. Such a bold move. You know how many quarterbacks in the league, and maybe even some of your favorite quarterbacks, will sit there and look to the sideline and say, hey, can we kick it sooner than later? Because I don't want this ball in my hand.
Get it over with.
I'm panicking right now. Not Aaron Rodgers, man. They say that Kobe Bryant has coldness in his veins, ice in his veins. So does Aaron Rodgers. One of the best to ever do it.
49ers stopped him on 4th and goal late in the fourth quarter, up 7 points. Like, you think it's over. You think it's done. They get that 3rd and long. Sherman has the penalty. But even then after that, there was, 90 seconds to go, 90 yards after that interception, and he gets away. I know how to kill a cockroach. They say you can't kill cockroaches. I know how to do it. I looked it up.
What do?
You get 2 or 3 drops of soapy water solution. You put it in a spray.
Is that how you do it?
True?
You can kill a cockroach. It's on Google.
Okay.
It's on WebMD.
Okay.
Why don't they do that to Rodgers?
I don't know how to kill Aaron Rodgers.
Soapy water?
Soapy water. I don't know what the soapy
Get
water
that to Lake Forest, Illinois.
Yeah, I was going to say, the Bears destroyed his knee and put him on the cart, and we're up 20, and he still couldn't be put away. I mean, the Cardinals had to put up 51 points in a playoff game to do it. I don't know how to kill him. I don't know how to stop him, and he's a cockroach, except cockroaches I know how to destroy. I don't know with Aaron Rodgers anymore. He's unstoppable, and he says it. He's got these 2 games coming up. He's like, we can't play like that. But what was the name?
I love
Aquamania St. Brown. Yes.
Aquamania
They all
St.
stepped
Brown.
up. All of them stepped up. All of the supporting cast. Great, thanks for the DIY.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's.
Appreciate it.
I hope you never have to deal with it, Kay.
I'm going to go with the fact that, yes, he has magic in the fourth quarter, and there's a sense of urgency that he plays with when put into a corner that I love about him, but it sort of translates to the rest of the team, too. Those guys did step up, and really, this was my pigskin pick'em grade 8 pick of the week, and I did it not just because of Aaron Rodgers and what I know he could do at home at Lambeau, but because of the defense and how they've looked. Going into this battle, they were the 5th ranked defense in the league. Now, in the first half, I was like, oh no, here we go, because they did not have it together even a little bit. But I do give them a lot of credit for some second half adjustments and resiliency, where they only allowed 6 points in the second half, just 2 field goals. And it's plays like this big play by Clay Matthews, who, by the way, did not get flagged on the sack. This, of course, gets him the ball back for the game-tying touchdown. Then you have the interception by Kevin King. You don't get to have that magic happen from Aaron Rodgers without plays like this. If this defense keeps coming to play like this, I'm in.
Yeah, me too. The defense
Stepped up
made
big in the right
plays,
moment.
and Rodgers closed the door. And I hear it all the time. You guys love Rodgers. You talk about Rodgers so much. This is why we talk about Rodgers. And I just look at, Jared Goff has this incredible spectrum of weapons, and Pat Mahomes has all these things. Devontae Adams is great. But the fact that Rodgers is dealing with these young dudes, it's like a Daniel Day-Lewis in like a fish out of the water screwball comedy about taking care of kids. We're watching
Community theater.
Community theater. It's kindergarten quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's out there. Who's your daddy and that's what Aaron Rodgers is doing. These guys who did step up and make plays. Jamon Moore. He's a rookie. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, rookie. Aquamania St. Brown, rookie. This is not Craig Jennings. This is not Jordy Nelson's in Oakland. Randall Cobb was on the sideline, and he's still doing it. That is the magic of this Beethoven of football. He is the kindergarten quarterback. Yeah, did you see the clip of him yelling at Marquez Valdez-Scantling? Sitting there in the middle of the field. Watch this now. It's just a short little pass. He wanted it tighter. He wanted it. Watch Rodgers on national television. Dude, what are you doing? Get over there. We went over this in practice. I told you I'm going to put your ass in timeout. And he should. That's what Rodgers is doing and he's still winning. That's how good he is. That's why we talk about Rodgers.
We got more highlights. We'll, of course, get you guys set for Week 7, but the NFL world mourning this morning the loss of one of our owners.
That's right, and it's with a heavy heart that I speak on the passing of Paul Allen. Now, millions of people in America and across the globe benefited from the talent, intellect, and creativity of Paul Allen, who partnered with Bill Gates back in the 1980s to build Microsoft into the world's dominant software system. And yet, one of the world's wealthiest men was always able to remain a kid at heart with his professed love for Jimi Hendrix music and professional sports. He was already an NBA owner in the late 90s, then given the opportunity to keep professional football in the Pacific Northwest. Like everything else in Paul Allen's remarkable life, he seized that opportunity and through his efforts laid the foundation for the golden years of the Seattle Seahawks. He released the following statement. Paul Allen was a driving force behind keeping the NFL in the Pacific Northwest. His vision led to the construction of Century League Field and the building of the team that played in 3 Super Bowls, winning the championship in Super Bowl 48. The raising of the 12th man flag at the start of every Seahawks home game was Paul's tribute to the extraordinary fan base in Seattle in that community. His passion for the game combined with his quiet determination led to a model organization on and off the field. He worked tirelessly along our medical staff advisors to identify new ways to make the game safer and protect our players from unnecessary risks. I personally value Paul's advice on subjects ranging from collective bargaining to bringing technology to our game. Our league is better for Paul Allen, having been part of it, and the entire NFL sends its deepest condolences to Paul's family and to the Seahawks organization. He will be missed. And in being a kid from Seattle, for what he meant to this community, just like Russell Wilson, expressing what he meant to so many players, it's going to be tough for people to deal with. And Russell Wilson says, you know, we have lost a friend and a giant. Mr. Allen, thank you for your extraordinary vision, your abundant generosity, and for believing in all of us. By your example, you made all of us better, kinder. May you rest in peace. Go Hawks.
Awesome. Patriots owner Robert Kraft also chimed in on the passing of Allen, saying Paul Allen was a brilliant businessman who was driven by a deep passion for his work and a desire for excellence, which is evident in his myriad of business and philanthropic endeavors. With both the Seahawks and the Sounders, he built a foundation for success that helped inspire 2 of the greatest fan bases in their respective leagues. While our teams did not play often, I very much enjoyed the time I did share with Paul. For his understated and unassuming nature, kindness and wisdom always impressed me. The NFL and the MLS are better for having Paul Allen involved, and so are the countless others who have been touched by his brilliance and his compassion. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Allen family, as well as the entire Seahawks and Sounders organizations and all who mourn his loss today. Here on Good Morning Football, we continue to mourn his loss, to celebrate his life and his impact. I know, Nate, you played for him. Was he in the room when you signed? You met him right away?
No, he wasn't in the room when I signed, but he was there quite often, but quietly, though. One of the titans of so many different industries. And I think for people that are sitting at home, they may say, okay, I'm familiar because of the Blazers, the Seahawks, the Sounders. So much deeper than that, you know, being just a young black kid from the inner city, and you try to identify with so many men that you see and cross paths with. Of course, my father, my brothers, the relatives close to me, but then there's individuals that are from your city, and you say, that guy's doing it, and he's doing it at such a great level. So it was finance, it was tech, it was the aerospace, it was sports, it was the entertainment and film business, and the philanthropy. And I find myself at 37 trying to mimic all these things. And I got my hands on so many different things, as you guys know. It's because I was influenced by one of the greatest men to ever walk the soil of a place that I'm from and this world. So his impact is so much deeper than sports. It's what he meant to the world. He was a billion-dollar man with $1 trillion heart.
Seahawks owner Paul Allen died at the age of 65. More on him, of course, after the break, and we'll be right back.
So Mason Crosby, hello. That's opportunity, my man. Bernurska, we see you. We love you.
I like it. I think you're onto something, KB. I'm all for it.
How soon, thanks, Will, how soon would you leave our show to host the Wheel of Fortune?
What do you mean, Kay?
Like how quick out the door? It'd be like the imprint of a guy in the wall running through it.
As long as Van is staying, I'm going.
You're in.
Oh. I want to work with Miss White. Love that Miss White.
All right, we have you covered on all things Thursday night football right here on Good Morning Football. It's the Broncos taking on the Cardinals on NFL Network, and this might be a must-win game in the desert in Arizona, where they're I mean, there's a lot more than pride on the line, guys. With very more on this story, very more. Why not? Here's Omar Ruiz.
Good morning, Kay. The heat certainly turned up here in Arizona as the Cardinals are now off to a 1-5 start. When head coach Steve Wilks was asked if his offensive coordinator Mike McCoy's job was in jeopardy, Wilks responded by saying all their jobs are in jeopardy, including his own, if they don't start winning. Rookie quarterback Josh Rosen says he appreciates the frustration, but he says now is not the time to try and play hero ball. Now is not the time to try and do too much. The Cardinals' biggest concern right now is converting offensively on third down. Against the Vikings on Sunday, they were 0 for 10. Justin Pugh saying if they can simply extend drives, they would obviously get more plays and therefore more production. Coach Wilks' message to the team this week as they get prepared to host the Broncos on Thursday is that nobody is feeling sorry for them, not especially Von Miller and Bradley Chubb and the rest of that Broncos defense. For now, let's go back to you, Kay.
Thanks so much, Omar. We'll be talking about this game leading into kickoff on Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. But it does beg the question, what do we think about Josh Rosen? What is the state of the union? Where do we rank him among that rookie quarterback class?
You know, it's so early, and there's such a tight pack in terms of their play. I'm just going to give it my own spin. In pure watchability, like the guy I want to watch on Sunday, I'm having him number one. I love him. I've talked about his facial expressions. He did, you know, in that win they got, he did the giant sledgehammer celebration, which he went on Twitter and dubbed the Hebrew Hammer. I follow him on Twitter. But Josh Rosen's the guy I want to watch. I like Allen, I like Baker, but I'm putting him at number one most watchable right now.
I'm going to give him an incomplete because I think he's not been helped at all. I think
You're that teacher?
Omar,
do it.
Omar mentioned it. I don't think Mike McCoy's doing him any favors with this offense. It's very pedestrian, and you look around, and Sam Darnold has Jeremy Bates as this offensive wizard. Yeah. Josh Allen is Brian Dable from the Belichick tree, and then Baker Mayfield is Todd Haley. We're seeing handoff up the middle, screen back. It's the most boring offense in the league.
Talk about it.
I need to see what he can do when they open things up, and they haven't done that yet for him.
Well, I'll take that handoff. Speaking of handoff, that means where's the running game? For watching that offense, it's like walking into a house party and there's no music. Where's the DJ?
Come on now, let's go.
Where's David Johnson? So for me, that would help a rookie when you have struggles on offense and you have him trying to figure it out. All these guys are, like you said, it's such a tight pack. They're all under 60% in their completion percentage. But when it comes to watchability, I'll go Josh Allen more than anyone.
Really?
That thing is either going to be absolutely amazing or a little bit of a dumpster fire.
Mine's not watchability. I look at it as far as being impressive. We all say Sam Darnold's a robot, right? He just throws an interception and keep going. I like his resiliency, right? So he gets upstaged by Baker Mayfield. He faces the Jags, has a really tough game against them, but then back-to-back wins over the Broncos, over the Colts. Against the Colts, he completed 80% of his passes. He's looking good, and let's not pretend his supporting cast is some, all-pro level players. He's, they're all rising to the occasion together. Jeremy Bates, obviously a huge factor of that, but I like Darnold.
And he's on the right side of the touchdown-interception ratio. 9 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. For a rookie, that's good.
Really good.
It's Thursday Night Football. It's a primetime duel.
And now he hits him again. Let's drop it. See ya. Boom. That's his segment.
Amazing.
Welcome to Angry Runs Infinity War. The time was we did a fun segment. We rounded up the most physical punishing runs in the NFL every week, and we voted which one was the most punishing, the angriest. And then the segment got broken by a guy we call Vanos. Give me the poster, guys. Steelers tight end Vance McDonald, his run against the Buccaneers back in the day has led us to this. These are the guys I called out after a 1-month run by Vanos up here. Come on, Mark. Come on, Marshawn. Guys, knock this man off his perch and give us our segment back. Let's find out what happened. Does the dark era of Vanos continue? When you need help, guys, you call your friends. And we don't have a better friend on this show than Vikings running back Latavius Murray. Give me Latavius right now. The Vikings taking on the Cardinals. The Tay train says a little bit of that. Now wait to the reverse angle, because this gets real, real nice. Look at that. Bam, he takes a punch, he delivers a punch. And you know, Latavius, he loves every movie ever. I picture him being like, what do you mean you didn't like Smallfoot? What do you mean you didn't like Venom? Bad Times at El Royale. Get off me. I saw it 3 times. It was excellent. And also, Nate, it reminds me of the Tay train of one of your favorite movies, Unstoppable.
Of course.
Inexplicable B movie that made the theaters. Rosario Dawson saying, it's not a train, it's a missile the size of the Chrysler building. Chris Pine, what was he doing fresh off the Star Trek? But Latavius, with a great stiff arm, a great guy, and he's gone. Is he the guy guy who takes out Vanos.
Pretty good.
Same color as Vanos. Maybe there's something there. Let's get onto it. Next one. You never want to have an angry barber. I've sat down for some angry barbers before. It looks like they cut my hair with a fork. And look out, Peyton Barber of the Bucs. Guys, this gets real nice. This Tampa-Atlanta game, we never had Peyton Barber here before. But if you guys freeze it right here, this play is over. This is a safety. He is about to wrap up on Peyton Barber. And watch what happens. Peyton Barber says, no, my friend. Roll this thing, because it gets real nice. This is in the hole. Mano y mano. Roll the clip so we can have Peyton Barber give him a nice spike haircut. Runs him right the hell over, keeps going, falls off another guy. I like seeing some Peyton Barber in the clip, right?
Angry barber? What you mean you're not going to give me a tip? You're not going to tip me?
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to take that comb and that blue water, right, and put it right back next time.
Push that lineup back.
Rocky Marciano.
Right. That'd be $5. But this does feel a little bit like Ant-Man on his own going to take on Vanos. Maybe we need a more powerful superhero like this man. Gronk is going to say, boom! Guys, it's real physical. This is Rob Gronkowski, our legend, tight end to tight end. Look at this. He's going to do him a little move, and then he's going to punch the lightning out of him right there. Down he goes. This is my favorite angle, because he's going to turn him all the way around. Look at Rob. He's thinking about beers and touchdowns and fun. Freeze it. He's completely facing the other way. And guys, look at my man up here, the blurry face up there with the X shirt. He says Gronk might have just won angry runs with his giant elbow pad. Ball security completely flips him around as he's off and running. Roll again for me, guys. We're trying to do what we can do. There's a Dark Lord overseeing this whole segment. Could Gronk be the hero, or maybe is it Latavius? One more time, sends him tumbling. Sort of looks like Chris Conte there, doesn't he? Just a little bit. So those are our entrants. And now's the time every single week where we say we introduce our champion, and here he comes. The vortex opens, and he walks out with the ridges in his chin and the purple face. Give me Vance McDonald. We call him Vanos, and look out, Chris Conte. It's tough, guys. It's real tough, and he sprints for a 70-plus yard touchdown on top of that. Look at him looking off here, and you know what's coming next.
Give me Cam.
What do you mean, Peter?
Give me Cam Hayward.
Give me Cam Hayward.
Give me the Cam.
We have the full Linda Blair head turn, and here it comes.
Where's the Cam?
Everybody knows it's like the album you listened to a million times. There's Cam Hayward saying, oh! Guys, it's tough. That's why he's the champ. And now we go over to the table. You know, Adams, I noticed during the segment that you've got purple on today. Our champion is purple. Is there a symmetry there? What say you?
I will say that it's not even close. Vance McDonald wins this round.
Vance McDonald advances. Vanos conquers P. Schrain.
I gotta shake it up.
To it was Gronk, and it wasn't. It was.
But I'm gonna go Gronk
for context. Fugazi.
I gotta take this guy out. Context. Game of the year. Final half. Everyone. Gronk puts him down there. That game was a Monday Night Nothing game against the Buccaneers. We'll never remember. That game, though, Chiefs-Patriots, Gronk to make that play on national TV. I'm going Gronky Kong.
You're going Gronk.
Gronky Kong.
We got purple blood. We got Vance. We got Gronk. Nate Burleson. Destiny, the future of the human race, lies in your hands. What say you?
Vance has been wearing that glove.
That gauntlet.
But I'm going to take it off and give it to Gronk.
Bring the light up. Let there be light. Let there be light. Down goes Vanos. It's over. Rob Gronkowski has just ripped the gauntlet off and defeated Vanos. Gronk, we love you. Let me give you a big kiss. Mwah!
You know what it is, Kyle?
That's the
you know what it is?
champ.
Incredible Hulk didn't show up in that last movie, and the Incredible Hulk is here. He is Gronk. That's the Hulk right there.
This is the Hulk.
But
this
you
is
expect
Thor.
the Hulk to do this week in, week out. You never expected Vance McDonald to do that.
Oh, my goodness.
Welcome back to Good Morning Football. The Cowboys played what's likely their best game of this season, a 33-point blowout win over the Jags on Sunday. And our very own Jane Slater has more from Big D.
Okay, after 5 weeks of averaging just 16.6 points a game, the Cowboys decided to drop 40 against the Jags, one of the top-ranked defenses in the league. Head coach Jason Garrett on Monday told us it was one of the most complete games that they've played all season, saying that they were able to both stay aggressive while also secure the win. But the message heading into Week 7 is this: they've got to earn it all over again. Right now, they're tied for second with the Eagles and a half game back from the Washington Redskins. The Redskins just beat the Carolina Panthers, a team the Cowboys couldn't beat earlier in the season. The Cowboys will also be without the services of wide receiver Tavon Austin, who injured his groin in the game. Head coach Jason Garrett told us they weren't overly optimistic about his availability this week. Okay, back to you.
Appreciate you, Jane Slater. The Cowboys improved to 3-0 at home for the first time in a season since 1999. The problem, Dallas 0-3 on the road. They've turned the ball over 6 times in those 3 games. How do they cure the road woes? That's the question, because they go on the road week 7. They're taking on the first place Washington Redskins. So what do they need to do?
Let me try to put this together as quickly as I can. I feel like every offense is an outfit, and they had Des Bryant, who was the gloves, and you had Jason Witten, who was the jacket, and then those guys are going. Seemed like they were trying to figure out what their look was, and they couldn't quite get it. And then finally, this past weekend, it came together. There was a new jacket led by Cole Beasley. There was a hat on. That was the IQ and the creativity. The shoes are Ezekiel Elliott. I would say the final piece to the outfit is the shorts. Let Dak show his legs, because when he's in the pocket, huge legs, but when he's in the pocket and he breaks down and then takes off, this offense is so much more explosive. Whether it's an RPO and he takes off, or the pass play breaks down and he takes off, I would say, Scott Linehan, I encourage you more Dak using his legs, because that right there is dynamic, just as Ezekiel is in the backfield.
I know what you think.
Well, I'll tell you.
I already know.
They need to make a high-profile signing. I'm not kidding.
Really?
I'm not talking about Le'Veon or Dez. This is the guy they need to sign. Roll it for me. Roll it for me. Jerry Jones worth about $7 billion. That guy really likes money right there. They wouldn't be under the salary cap.
Oh, man.
And guys, I'm only sort of kidding. That was the most shocking outcome of the season last week, what the Cowboys did. From total flatliners to swag walks and touchdowns. And I don't think it was a coincidence that a former Irish plumber's apprentice named Conor McGregor came and fired them up. I don't let him leave my team for the rest of the season. That's my guy.
What happens if the Redskins come out and beat them 41-0? What are we talking about on Monday?
Here we go again.
Like, that's the thing. I'm not convinced. Like, I need to see it 2 weeks in a row, okay? And I think going on the road and doing it is going to say a lot. And also in the division and getting the leg up on Washington. You win this game, you're up there with the Eagles, and you guys are looking down at everyone. I need to see it one more time. I need to see them pack their bags and do it in another building, because if they lose 35-0, then we're right back to where we were 2 weeks ago. We do it all over again. And 8-8 in this year, I just don't see that getting it done.
Jeff Heath is doing the swag walk. Heath, Peter.
What did you make of Dak's McGregor
That's
walk?
exactly what I wanted to see from him. I want to see some attitude. His body language was unbelievable.
Right?
I think he did. I mean, what the hell am I to say? He did it all right. I'm sure better than I did. It's all just here like that. You're swimming and you got your udders and you're beating the hell out of the Jaguars and it works.
Josh Norman is Khabib.
That's right.
We'll be back after this. Aaron, what was that?
I don't know. Shoulders up.
With a 3-2-1 record after that, let's take a look at their schedule.
Ooh, that's brutal, Kay.
It's quite the gauntlet, if you will. But it begs the question, because you're looking at that Week 9 situation at Patriots and at undefeated Rams. You know, we do this from time to time. Things get a little heated. Game on the line. I'm going to say one final drive.
Okay.
Who you got? You got Rodgers, you got Brady, or I'll give you the whole Rams offense.
That's fun.
Whoa, this is a cold-blooded
offense. That's a lot.
Would you rather? This is...
Yep. You didn't
Get
play
in there,
this
Strakes.
in college? Anybody have
I'll jump in. Listen, I'm not going to play these games. I'm not afraid of this locker room argument. I'm going to go with Tom Brady in that offense.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. You're like, Nate, here you go again, hating on the Packers. I'm not hating on the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is phenomenal. Last night, he looked like the best quarterback in football. Rams offense, they're clicking all cylinders. Todd Gurley is the MVP. But when it comes to Tom Brady, I don't care if he can't move in the pocket. I don't care if he's not a threat to run. It's him combined with the playmaking and his ability to throw guys open even when they're not open. So for me, I've seen this time and time again, and more times with Brady than I've seen with Rodgers. And we're just looking at these plays. Check them out. Patiently, just methodically picking people apart. These are throws he's making throughout the game. When he's in the fourth quarter, he's just as calm. I have never seen him rattled. Ever in my life. That's when I played against him, and now as a fan of the game, watching him from a bird's eye view. So I'm going to go with Tom Brady.
I'll go with Aaron Rodgers just because I feel like when it gets into those situations, he turns it to another gear. We do a live show for 3 hours. If we were to record something, I'd mess up. Like, I'm not good at recording and knowing I have like a little time to do anything. A safety net.
Do it live.
That's him. He gets pushed into a corner. He's like, oh snap, I have to do this now. And he gets it done, guys. He's thrown game-winning touchdown passes to guys named Jeff Janis, Richard Rodgers, Donald Lee, and Andrew Corliss. Not exactly household household names. He's done it on the biggest stage, and he's done it in these weird ways. So I trust him in a game-winning final drive situation to get it done. And if worse comes to worse, he could always just chuck it up for a Hail Mary. True. Also, this is a quarterback I want to see on a final drive.
It's a compelling case. I'm worried that on that final drive that they have a kicker who's 90 years old. That Mason Crosby's aging like the president. Remember W came in, he looked like Zac Efron, he went like Orville Redenbacher. That was Mason Crosby. But listen, Brady has thrown touchdowns to over 70 people. Like obscure, abstract, small. I just look at what Brady did in the Super Bowl against that Eagles defense that was legendary and the dog mask.
How about against the Falcons defense
against
here
the
earlier?
Falcons defense. But I will say this for Rodgers, and I said at the top of the show, he's doing it with Equiminius St. Brown, Jamon Moore, and this guy, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I defy you to find one person back at kickoff who was aware of Marquez Valdez-Scantling, let alone really, truly excited for him. Find one person.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, hello! Hey! The NFL is back. It's the king. Please join us. We're here for the ride.
Yeah, Peter!
Let's go!
Did he do this in the booth last night?
Yeah, he did. I like
Sean
the fact,
McVay,
Saquon's so good, he separated his name. He said, we got to see Saquon and Barkley.
That's it.
That's how good he is.
That's
He's two
it.
people.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling. That's a Packers rookie, and I'm here for it.
That's good.
Hey, do you want to edit your resume?
Football's back, baby.
That's amazing.
August 10th?
August.
You said before kickoff.
You're right. He's doing the Valdez-Scantling. Why?
It was a dance in August, the Valdez-Scantling.
Why?
Because in preseason, that's who Rodgers was throwing to, and I knew it would come up in.
Is that right?
Wait, no. Let's dive into that for a second. August 10th, when nobody was thinking about him as a player.
Victory lap,
why?
Peter.
I'm not taking a victory lap. That was who was playing receiver for the Packers. And it was like, who's going to step up? And it was that guy, and he did last night.
I also think you kind of just like his name.
Love his name. How did you know? Equiminius St. Brown.
If his name was Josh Anderson, would you be doing it?
Jake Trumano did not get a dance. I'm going to answer this question. That was fun. I'm going to answer this question, though, and I'm going to, I guess, take the crazy answer. But I'm watching all these games, and the Rams' last two games have come down to the final minutes, and they've been on offense. Okay. And they don't leave the door open. They slam the door. McVay goes for it on fourth down with Goff and says, hey, we're on our own 40-yard line, 4th and 2. Instead of punting it, let's just convert it, gets the first down. They do all these 4th down conversions where they hand the ball to Gurley, and they have the greatest offensive weapon in the sport. So as much as I love Rodgers, and I cannot give any more respect to Brady than I've given the last couple of weeks, I honestly think I might roll with McVay, Goff, and that offensive line just because I have seen them not give those other guys the opportunity. The 49ers gave Rodgers an opportunity. The Chiefs left time on the clock for Brady. I don't think McVay, Goff, Gurley, they give those other guys a chance. They put the game away and they shut the door. They don't leave any room to be brokenhearted.
It's a fun conversation. We'll keep it going on Twitter at #GMFB. We're doing the show today. We'll give you guys highlights, set you up for Week 7 action as well. But we're doing the show with heavy hearts a bit today. The NFL mourning the loss of one of their owners. We continue to remember the life, the legacy of Seahawks owner Paul Allen. He passed away yesterday with a 3-2-1 record. After that, let's take a look at their schedule.
Ooh, that's brutal, Kay.
It's quite the gauntlet, if you will. But it begs the question, because you're looking at that Week 9 situation at Patriots and at undefeated Rams. You know, we do this from time to time. Things get a little heated. Game on the line. I'm going to say one final drive.
Okay.
Who you got? You got Rodgers, you got Brady, or I'll give you the whole Rams offense.
That's fun.
Whoa, this is a cold-blooded
offense. That's a lot.
Would you rather? This is...
Yep. You didn't
Get
play
in there,
this one in
Strakes.
college? Anybody have
I'll jump in. Listen, I'm not going to play these games with you. I'm not afraid of this locker room argument. I'm going to go with Tom Brady in that offense. Yeah. I know what you're thinking. You're like, Nate, here you go again, hating on the Packers. I'm not hating on the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is phenomenal. Last night, he looked like the best quarterback in football. Rams offense, they're clicking all cylinders. Todd Gurley is the MVP. But when it comes to Tom Brady, I don't care if he can't move in the pocket. I don't care if he's not a threat to run. It's him combined with the playmaking and his ability to throw guys open even when they're not open. So for me, I've seen this time and time again, and more times with Brady than I've seen with Rodgers. And we're just looking at these plays. Check them out. Patiently, just methodically picking people apart. These are throws he's making throughout the game. When he's in the fourth quarter, he's just as calm. I have never seen him rattle. Ever in my life. That's when I played against him, and now as a fan of the game, watching him from a bird's eye view. So I'm going to go with Tom Brady.
I'll go with Aaron Rodgers just because I feel like when it gets into those situations, he turns it to another gear. We do a live show for 3 hours. If we were to record something, I'd mess up. Like, I'm not good at recording and knowing I have like a little time to do anything.
Net.
A safety net.
You do it live.
That's him. He gets pushed into a corner. He's like, oh snap, I have to do this now. And he gets it done, guys. He's thrown game-winning touchdown passes to guys named Jeff Janis, Richard Rodgers, Donald Lee, and Andrew Corliss. Not exactly household names. He's done it on the biggest stage, and he's done it in these weird ways. So I trust him in a game-winning final drive situation to get it done. And if worse comes to worse, he could always just chuck it up for a Hail Mary. True. Also, this is a quarterback I want to see on a final drive.
It's a compelling case. I'm worried that on the final drive that they have a kicker who's 90 years old. That Mason Crosby's aging like the president. Remember W came in, he looked like Zac Efron. He went out like Orville Redenbacher. That was Mason Crosby. But listen, Brady has thrown touchdowns to over 70 people. Like obscure, abstract, small. I just look at what Brady did in the Super Bowl against that Eagles defense that was legendary and the dog mess.
How about against the Falcons defense
against
here
the
earlier?
Falcons defense. But I will say this for Rodgers, and I said at the top of the show, he's doing it with Equiminius St. Brown, Jamon Moore, and this guy, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I defy you to find one person back at kickoff who was aware of Marquez Valdez-Scantling, let alone really, truly excited for him. Find one person.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, hello! Hey! The NFL is back. It's the king. Please join us. We're here for the ride.
Yeah, Peter!
Let's go!
Did he do this in the booth last night?
Yeah, he did. I like
Sean
the fact,
McVay,
Saquon's so good, he separated his name. He said, we got to see Saquon and Barkley.
That's it.
That's how good he is.
That's
He's two people.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling. That's a Packers rookie, and I'm here for it.
That's good.
Hey, do you want to edit your
Football's back, baby.
That's amazing.
August 10th? You said before kickoff.
You're right. He's doing the Valdez-Scantling. Why?
It was a dance in August, the Valdez-Scantling.
Why?
Because in preseason, that's who Rodgers was throwing to, and I knew it would come up in.
Is that right?
Wait, no. Let's dive into that for a second. August 10th, when nobody was thinking about him as a player.
Victory lap,
why?
Peter.
I'm not taking a victory lap. That was who was playing receiver for the Packers. And it was like, who's going to step up? And it was that guy, and he did last night.
I also think you kind of just like his name.
Love his name.
How did you know?
Equiminius St. Brown.
If his name was Josh Anderson, would you be doing it?
Jake Flumino did not get a dance. I'm going to answer this question. That was fun. I'm going to answer this question, though, and I'm going to, I guess, take the crazy answer. But I'm watching all these games, and the Rams' last two games have come down to the final minutes, and they've been on offense. Okay. And they don't leave the door open. They slam the door. McVay goes for it on fourth down with Goff and says, hey, we're on our own 40-yard line, 4th and 2. Instead of punting it, let's just convert it, gets the first down. They do all these fourth down conversions where they hand the ball to Gurley, and they have the greatest offensive weapon in the sport. So as much as I love Rodgers, and I cannot give any more respect to Brady than I've given the last couple of weeks, I honestly think I might roll with McVay, Goff, and that offensive line just because I have seen them not give those other guys the opportunity. The 49ers gave Rodgers an opportunity. The Chiefs left time on the clock for Brady. I don't think McVay, Goff, Gurley, they give those other guys a chance. They put the game away and they shut the door. They don't leave any room to be brokenhearted.
It's a fun conversation. We'll keep it going on Twitter at #GMFB. We're doing the show today. We'll give you guys highlights, set you up for Week 7 action as well. But we're doing the show with heavy hearts a bit today. The NFL mourning the loss of one of their owners. We continue to remember the life, the legacy of Seahawks owner Paul Allen. He passed away yesterday at the age of 65 due to complications from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And among many achievements, the co-founder of Microsoft and noted philanthropist that he will be remembered as the owner that led Seattle to their first ever Super Bowl win. Let's welcome in Judy Batista. She's now here with more. Judy, thanks for joining us this morning. In your words, what will Paul Allen's NFL legacy be?
Well, good morning, Kay. His legacy really should be that he saved the Seahawks for the city of Seattle. The Seahawks were very close to moving in the mid-90s to Southern California. The previous owner had already set up office space in Southern California. He'd already announced that the team was going to California, and then Paul Allen stepped in and saved the team for his native city. And then, of course, he poured some of his vast resources into making it a top-flight franchise. He oversaw the construction of CenturyLink Field, which is one of the great home field advantages in the entire NFL. He built a state-of-the-art training facility on the banks of Lake Washington. He spent to hire the top flight coaches like Mike Holmgren and Pete Carroll. And of course, the result, 3 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl championship. But honestly, guys, it's kind of crazy to talk about Paul Allen's influence just on the NFL. Let's be honest. This guy literally changed the way we all live our lives. He was the co-founder of Microsoft, and then he poured billions of dollars into philanthropic efforts, technology, science, the arts. He is credited with really making Seattle a cultural hub. He was a huge Jimi Hendrix fan, for instance, and he built the Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle. He started an institute for the study of the brain and traumatic brain injury. Artificial intelligence was one of his interests, so he had a wide array of interests. And of course, the Seattle Seahawks were one of the most successful ones.
Thanks so much, Judy Batista. There's more at NFL.com. I know you wrote some pieces over there remembering and honoring his legacies. We continue to do that throughout the show, and we appreciate you joining us from New York City, where the owners' meetings are being held this afternoon. Looking forward to hearing your coverage of that later today on Total Access and tomorrow. Okay, we're going to take a short break here and get back to some football and talk about, I don't know, angry runs we saw.
Sure.
How about
the brothers hugging in celebration? Packers now 3, 2, and 1.
I like it. Contact.
Love that. Another week of NFL action is in the books, so we like to go around the table and sort of wrap a bow on the week that was with what we learned. Should I start?
Yeah, Kay, go ahead and do that thing.
Okay, what I learned this week is that Twitter sees all. It's the eye in the sky. It does not lie, and the internet misses nothing. And I love it. It's obviously changed the way that we watch the game, absorb the game, all of that. And every Sunday, I'm working on my other show, and I'm watching all these different screens and all the games, but I don't get to see everything, right?
Sure.
I don't get to see every down. Of course, Game Pass helps with that, but cue the internet. And while some people might think the World Wide Web is only good for cat videos and Chrissy Teigen Instagram mentions, it's also an incredible tool for learning about the best moments on Sundays, big and small. So here's a small sampling of what I found across Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, all the other internet places to go to talk football. First up, Ben Roethlisberger, okay? So he completes 32 passes on Sunday, but do you know which one was like the best one?
Which one?
He threw the ball to himself. If you haven't seen it, if you have, enjoy it. He passes, he bobbles around like a pinball machine, and he catches it back into the hands of Big Ben. Now, Kirk Cousins also did this in his game, but I kind of like this one better because it's a little more wild.
2 Bengals.
I've never seen the double bouncer.
I've never seen 2.
Brad Johnson and the Brett Favre and all those, but never that.
I mean,
This is a first.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Next, Adrian Peterson. So he's shown that he could still do it at his age, but this week he proved he doesn't even need 2 cleats to do it. I feel like, what is this, his 12th season in the league? You think you have to show us something new? And he does. Slips through the tackle, doesn't even get tackled. That's Luke Kuechly, guys.
It got stuck in Kuechly's helmet?
I know, isn't that just
How crazy is that?
disrespectful?
Shoeless Action Jackson. I like it.
It's amazing.
I've never seen that. It's in Luke Kuechly's ear hole.
You wouldn't have seen it if it wasn't for NFL Twitter. Moving on, everybody makes mistakes. Most of them don't take place on national television. This poor Titans fan just wanted to show off his team pride on TV. Don't you guys feel bad for him? He's having the time of his life. He finally gets the airtime, and he can't,
upside down.
He can't get it right.
Not tight.
Yeah, well, that's a distress signal. That was what the Titans did last week.
And then he turns it around. He turns it around like, I got this.
At the end of the clip, the Ravens sack him at the end, too.
Look at the lady in the back, like, turn it around.
Come on.
Get it together.
Wait. No, now it's backwards. Now it's backwards.
Oh, please identify this guy. I love this guy.
Yay!
That about sums up the Titans game.
Let's get him to London this weekend. He plays they play the Chargers. Can we pay for his flight to London?
We got people making out in Times Square, going to the sidelines post game. Why not? Finally, the Brady Mahomes showdown. was an instant classic. But did any of you catch this great moment of communication between Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski? Did you guys see this?
Gronk, stand up. Gronk, stand up. Gronk, stand up.
Gronk, stand up! During an interview yesterday with WEEI, Brady did not hang up the phone during the interview. That's one. But two, he was asked about this play, and he said the formation was for him to be in his stance, but based on something that he saw, he wanted him to stand up and look taller. I guess is make sure that he had like the presence to take on D Ford, make himself known. I think D Ford probably knows Gronk's pretty big.
Yeah, of course. That was amazing.
That was like he should have given him a doggy treat or something, you know? Like Gronk is like a big, lovable Labrador, and he was like, sit, stand up. Like, you should give them a treat. Or
Rings the belly, salivates.
yeah, but kamikaze shot. What did he give?
Like us
There
at
you
the dinner
have it.
table, right?
Yes.
The internet might be great for online shopping and Googling things and slang words and all of that, but it's also a treasure trove of great moments with all that little stuff that's so great.
That's awesome. It's good stuff. The internet always wins, as my brother says. Okay, there was a lot to take away from the Vikings win over the Cardinals Sunday. But what I learned this week is what happened before the ball was even kicked off. I learned that Kirk Cousins isn't the motivational speaker that you'd expect. Now, when you think of Kirk Cousins, what are the first things that come to mind? Dad jokes, like literal dad jokes, right? Today, the Greatest Hits album was played during the team lift. Today was a good day, as if he's Ice Cube or something. Right. Even, you know, questions about fashion, right? He'll chime in with different tweets about that. But one label you wouldn't give Cousins is hype man. Yeah. In fact, Cousins' pregame speeches, you might think he would say things like, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Or luck is when opportunity meets preparation. Yep. Or maybe mismanaged success is the leading cause of failure. Well-managed failure is the leading cause of success. Ugh. I actually found that from Kirk Cousins, from his Twitter, actually, right there. Perfect. That's fanny pack tweets right there. But some of them, I know, right? Twitter, right? We'll find Twitter, man. But what Cousins did this week showed us there's this mismanaged success tweet right there. All right, but what he did this week before the game showed us an unexpected side of the quarterback. Check it out.
Nothing in this league is free. Nothing's a gift. You can't just roll your helmet out there and play. You got to go out there every play and earn it. And you got to take it, man. You got to take defense. I've been a rookie quarterback before. You can suffocate him. You can suffocate him. Make him miserable all game long. Get us the ball back. Like Dan Gable said. Like Dan Gable said. When you shoot, when I shoot, I score. When you shoot, I score. Here we go. Win on three, win on three. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, got a little, dude. When I shoot, I score. When you shoot, I score. I love it. Okay, Kirk. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, as if we needed another reminder, you don't need to eat your fingers to pump up your team. You know,
show the clip.
You know, James. I'm not gonna. I ain't gonna show the clip.
Whoa, why did you show it?
James, you're my guy. You know I love you.
Did he ever lick a W?
Hey, listen, like my guy Kyle says, they're not all wins. You know what I'm saying? They're not all winners. I've had some
not all
duds
gems
in the pregame.
I've had some
duds in pregame too. Listen, I mean, we need to hear that in the morning here in our meetings, Kirk Cousins. Can we get that? Like, I want you to walk into the Mondays like, nothing's a gift. You got to go out there every segment and earn it. I've watched TV before, and you can entertain them. You can entertain them. Make them laugh all morning long. Listen, so the next time you think of Kirk Cousins, just know that he's more than just a guy who tweets about getting old. Right here, I guess I'm getting old. Today, a teammate said, you know, Cal Ripken Jr., or, you know, this Minnesota State Fair tweet. State Fair. Kirk.
Do you think he'd...
Or even tweeting about Batman. Look, this is my guy, Kirk Cousins. Okay, so listen, just know that he's also a motivational speaker. And he's up there. I'm talking about he's up there with the likes of Ray Lewis, Tony Robbins.
I like it.
And all the greats. And that's what I learned. Kirk Cousins, I don't just see you. I hear you, fam. I hear you.
And I feel you.
And I feel you.
Suffocate a rookie quarterback.
Now, that was deep.
That was great.
That was real. He said, I was a rookie quarterback before. You can suffocate. Man, I wish I would have said that.
You know what I like, though?
worse than licking bagels.
I can't.
Terrible.
Jameis is back!
I
Jameis, we
cannot.
love you. Oh, with week 5, Toe, Drag, Swag, Tuesday. Let's jump right into this. Let's go. King Crabtree, the Ravens, taking on the Titans. Joe Flacco finds one of our favorite guys in the league. You know who it is.
It's the king, El
It's
Rey.
the king! Watch how my man is in the air and leaves his feet while the ball's in the air. That's beautiful because he jumps, he's off the ground like Prince floating into the room, and then taps his feet, catches the ball with his hands, and gets down. He makes it look so simple. He does it in so many different ways. The ball's in the air, my dude jumps and knows I'm gonna catch the ball and get my feet down. All right, moving on. We got Kirk Cousins. Who is this? Listen, you're going to be caught in a quagmire if you're guarding this dude in the game. So I'm going to call this Stephon Diggity. And my man is out here doing it real big. All right. Okay. Now check him out. I love the fact that he gets his feet down, but then catches with his body and turns backwards. So it's almost like he's laying down and falling into his bed after a long day. That was beautiful. All right, let's move this thing right on along. Broncos. Let's do this. I know we're giving Case Keenum a tough time, but he's been making some plays, though. Check out my guy, Demaryius Thomas, in the back of the end zone. Watch how he shoves that left one down and he drags that back leg like he pulled his hamstring. Ooh. And then he gets his feet down. I love the way he extends the ball, though, because he makes sure that the ref gives him that touchdown. This right here is Taylor Gabriel. Turbo has the speed, but did you know he had the hands? Now, it's not necessarily toe drag swag, but he does land on that hip close to the sideline. But I love the custom cleats, though. Turbo, I see you, fam.
He had a huge day.
So what? Ever since you got the money, you don't know me no more? Man, come on the show, fam. And check this out. We got David Moore back in the end zone. Watch the wall. See how he goes over it quickly like a teacher grading paper on a Friday? That's how you got to do it. Check him out. He's going to catch in the back of the end zone and then go over that wall.
A+. I
gotta go.
Give me some happy hour.
And that right there, and I got to go too. That's Toe Drag Swag, and don't you guys go anywhere, all right? We got more GMSB being right back.
Hey.
And we will be back. Packers survive a scary game, and so did Peter Schrager. 13 of 17. Shel Silverstein went to Illinois.
That's where the sidewalk ends, Champaign, Illinois. That's where it knew that. It wasn't your best. How'd you feel after that?
I feel like sometimes you need to be humbled. I was humbled.
You missed 4.
I missed a bunch.
All right, let's talk more about the Packers, though. Scary game, great win. They're going into their bye. Where do we find them and fit them now among the NFC elite?
So it's funny because they're 3-2-1, and we've got the Rams who are at top of the division. We've got a defending champion still in the conference. And yet, if you were to tell me it was the Packers versus anyone, I can't say it's slam dunk. I'm taking anyone. The team that scares me the most is the Saints, and I'll tell you why. Not the Rams. The Rams haven't won it yet. They haven't been there. They haven't done it. So for them, it's going to be a lot of bright light type deal when they go into Lambeau or they're home against the Packers. Like, oh, my God, we've never been in a playoff game. We've never been through adversity. The Saints have done that. They've actually lost in big games, too. We've seen them lose to the Minneapolis Miracle last year. We've seen Alex Smith rip their heart out, and they've won the Super Bowl with Drew Brees and Sean Payton. So, to me, right now, the Packers are right in the mix, and that division is really hairy. But I would say it's the Saints and the Rams, and then the Packers. But I would give the Packers the edge over every other team in a big spot right now.
Really?
Other than the Rams.
Other than the Rams, even the Minnesota Vikings, who are in the thick of it.
Are they?
Even the Lions, who beat Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. You know, so I don't know. I'm looking
big
at
game
this.
spot, I'm saying. I
get what you're saying.
I can't pick against Rodgers against Kirk Cousins yet.
I hear what you're saying. And, you know, their record, it kind of speaks loudly for the team because when you hear 3, 2, 1, what usually comes after that? Lift-off. And I feel like it's time for the season to lift off. And that's Aaron Rodgers. Right around this time, he usually says something. I don't know, relax, or we'll make a run, or whatever it is. Even though we went through that highlight read and we didn't see one run play. And I know for fans at home, they say, well, when you get into the postseason, you're going to have to run the ball to keep good quarterbacks off the field. Or when you have a great quarterback, it doesn't matter who's on the field competing against them. Last night, I saw Aaron Rodgers just being Aaron Rodgers. I mean, outside the pocket, throws like that, dropping back traditionally. And then what was even scarier, when the game was in its waning moments, he drops back. He negotiates the pocket. He moves just so beautifully. And then he runs for the first down and then fights for a few extra yards and takes a little bit of a hit. That right there shows me, along with plays like this, that he is elite. And oftentimes, I used to think as a player, because there are so many guys on the field, not one player can make that big of an impact. I don't even care if you're a quarterback. This isn't the NBA. You're not LeBron. You can't carry a team. Aaron Rodgers can. He can carry a team without a running game. He can carry a team without a true number one. He can make all these other guys around him. And I'm not saying they don't have a true number one because they have Devontae Adams and they have a great group of guys around him. So for me, to answer your question, are they elite? Yes. And I will say that emphatically.
After Rams and Saints, it's them. What do you got?
I don't know if Rodgers can carry a team. This is what I mean. Like, the LeBron thing is interesting. We know he's the best player in the world, but he gets to the finals and loses almost every year. You know, and we haven't seen, we love Rodgers and we gush about him, he's so good, but how many times does he get to the Super Bowl? One. Even within their own division, the Packers have an identity crisis. Like, it's almost perfect. You know, they own the Bears until the Bears knocked them off. They lost to the Lions, and then they tied the Vikings. So this whole purgatory they're in. We need to see other players. That last night, that was great. That's not sustainable. They're at home against the Niners with their backup quarterback. You can't win 12 games that way. I will just point to one team that we're going to find a lot about this weekend, and is the reigning world champions. I like the Philadelphia Eagles. A little bit lying in the grass right now. They beat the crap out of the Giants, which maybe the Giants are that bad. They play Carolina this weekend. Carolina's coming off a loss. If Philadelphia beats them, let's say by 10 points, they are now running into the ring with those other guys. They have to earn that respect. They got to beat Carolina.
Are you telling me that you don't think that the Packers are the NFC North champions? If you had to choose?
I think it's time for the Vikings.
You're bringing up the Lions, you're bringing up the Vikings. Like, it's got.
I think it's time for the Vikings.
The Packers have made it to the playoffs 8 straight years under Rodgers. They didn't last year because Rodgers missed 9 games. His defense is the number 7 defense going into week 7, and these players are stepping up. You can say that about a lot of different weapons on offense. I feel like they're better than what you're saying that they are.
Maybe. They got to score to settle with the Vikings. They couldn't beat the Vikings in their home field, and Lambeau Field. They couldn't beat them, and they tied. So they got to score to settle.
Well, guys, are we off on the Bears? What's going on here? You know, we did that.
Listen, the Bears took a big step back, and that's why you don't sit here and say they're kings of the North when they're 2-1, because then they can't finish. I happen to think there might be something good for the Bears. Yeah. I'm telling you, that loss.
They needed it.
Khalil Mack's going to be the MVP.
Yeah.
Mitchell Trubisky's magic sleeve has its own Twitter account. Bye week. We're changing the game.
That's so scary to come off a bye week and lose like that.
A bye week where you read your headlines is what's most scary.
I think there's a lot of headlines. And maybe with New England coming to Soldier Field, maybe they needed to be told that their bleep stinks. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that could be a good thing. I believe in that coaching staff.
Celebrate it. Go ahead.
No, it's exactly what you said about the Cowboys. You said it earlier in the show. I need to see more. Same thing with the Bears. I feel like we all need to see more before we're completely bought in.
Talking NFL, talking Thursday night action as we flip the page towards week 7, but we're doing the show today, obviously with a bit of a heavy heart as the NFL family mourns the loss of one of their owners.
Yeah, not just the football family, but a loss for the world in general. Millions of people in America and across the globe benefited from the talent, intellect, and creativity of Paul Allen, who partnered with Bill Gates back in the 1980s to build Microsoft into the world's dominant software system. And yet, one of the world's wealthiest men was always able to remain a kid at heart with his professed love for Jimi Hendrix music and professional sports. He was already an NBA owner in the late 90s, and when given the opportunity to keep pro football in the Pacific Northwest, where I'm from, like everything else in Allen's remarkable life, he seized that opportunity and through his efforts laid the foundation for the golden age of the Seattle.
And how he was there for the team.
No question. I remember walking on the plane for the first time. First class seating throughout the plane, 4-course meal, cable in front of you, and you're sitting there thinking, this is like first class times 1,000. I'm coming from Minnesota where we went to the regular airport, just checked in like regular folks on a regular plane. Nothing wrong with that. But going to Seattle, it was different. He literally he spent himself just to make other people comfortable. He was a true man of dignity, and he did it with grace.
Leaving quite a legacy behind. You can check out more on Paul Allen at NFL.com as the condolences continue to pour in. All right, we also have you covered on our show with everything you need to know for Thursday Night Football. This week, Week 7 is the Broncos and the Cardinals in the desert and right here on NFL Network. And it might be a must-win game in Arizona where there's more than pride on the line. With more, here is Omar Ruiz.
Good morning, Kay. The heat certainly turned up here in Arizona as the Cardinals are now off to a 1-5 start. When head coach Steve Wilks was asked if his offensive coordinator Mike McCoy's job was in jeopardy, Wilks responded by saying all their jobs are in jeopardy, including his own, if they don't start winning. Rookie quarterback Josh Rosen says he appreciates the frustration, but he says now is not the time to try and play hero ball. Now is not the time to try and do too much. The Cardinals' biggest concern right now is converting offensively on 3rd down. Against the Vikings on Sunday, they were 0 for 10. Justin Pugh saying if they can simply extend drives, they would obviously get more plays and therefore more production. Coach Wilks' message to the team this week as they get prepared to host the Broncos on Thursday is that nobody is feeling sorry for them, not especially Von Miller and Bradley Chubb and the rest of that Broncos defense. For now, let's go back to you, Kay.
Appreciate you, Omar Ruiz. We are excited about this one, but let's talk about the Rams and the Chiefs. Those are the two undefeated teams going into Week 6. The Rams have a stranglehold on the NFC West. The Chiefs are on top of the AFC West. So which division do you guys think will be harder to win? NFC or AFC West?
I think AFC West, because I'm just going to look at all things equal. I'm looking at the home field advantage the Chiefs have, which might be the best in football. And the Chargers really don't have one at all, and the Rams is very strange too. So I'm just going to go with the Chiefs. I'm going to go with the Chiefs with Arrowhead, with the young offense. I'll go with them.
I think they're ghosts with the Chiefs. Like, they started off 5-0 last year. They lose those home playoff games every year.
Ghosts with the Chargers too.
There are ghosts with the Chargers, and I don't think the Broncos and Raiders are going to be competing for that. So I think the Chargers might be this kind of team of destiny this year. I feel like they've got something going. I wouldn't count the Chargers out yet. In the NFC West, I love what Seattle did last week. I know they've got a couple wins. The Rams seem like a runaway train right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
3-game lead right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't count out the Chargers either. And not just a team of destiny, a team of dominance. Like, when you look at how they're built, if they get everybody back on that field healthy, I mean, we've been waiting for Bosa to kind of show his face, but I mean, this team is built for success, and that offense look fantastic. Melvin Gordon doesn't get enough respect.
Awesome.
That wide receiver group doesn't get enough respect, and Phillip Rivers, who's been playing unbelievable this season, doesn't give enough respect. You think he's not listening to all this conversation about the young generation and the older legends, and he's just caught in this like state of
purgatory
limbo, and he's like, well, how come you're not talking about me when I'm playing at such a high level? And he's probably going to start knocking out some of these big dogs as well.
I tweeted something like, don't tell me the Chargers can't make a Super Bowl run. And there was so much negativity. Like, they beat the Browns, so you think that? No. They've only lost 2 games, and they're outscoring opponents 64-24. They're dominant, as you said, and they get Joey Bosa back. So let's not be on NFL Network strikes.
Okay, it's 2018, and this season we are seeing more cool, quirky, different types of plays than we ever have before. So we decided to have a segment. The 2018 segment is called Cool Plays, Bro. And we got this guy who you met in a Brooklyn bar last night, and he told you about his new app that's going to disrupt the cotton swab game. Anyway, new plays. I'm going to show you some of the coolest stuff from the week, and this one came with the Ravens. That is Joe Flacco up top, Lamar Jackson in the shotgun. What I love most about it, 3 tight ends on the field. Let's see it again here. Joe Flacco, we're going to leave you in the game. 3 tight ends blocking for Lamar Jackson. So you bring Lamar Jackson in, you put 3 tight ends on the field, you send Joe Flacco out wide. They're like, what's Flacco going to do? What's Flacco going to do? And then it's Lamar going. Again, Flacco out wide does not move.
He's so cool, he doesn't even move.
Total decoy, 3 tight ends. They all come blocking. Buck Allen throws a block, and oh yeah, Lamar Jackson, a first-round pick is on the field. We found a way to use him.
I love it.
Love
Sexy
using Lamar Jackson. Next one, LA Chargers in Cleveland. That's Keenan Allen, okay? Takes this. Keenan Allen would have 4 different running plays in this game. The play before this, he had a 20-yard catch.
Phil?
We talked about Cam Newton.
Wow!
Talked about Cam Newton last week. Cam Newton threw a block. Phil Rivers throws a block on Jamie Collins here. And it's not just like it's not graceless. Like, it's a good block.
Yeah.
Phil Rivers.
He came to fight.
He came to
Look at
fight.
the size of the Russian.
Watch Keenan, though, coming in here. This is a flip pass to a reverse. In like 2013, this would have been the play of the week. We would have been drooling over this play. Now it's just whatever. Phil Rivers.
2013.
Phil Rivers is blocking Jamie Collins. Who cares? Whatever, right? Okay. There's still a place in my heart for just blunt trauma force, though. And all right. Frank Clark is in a contract year. Frank Clark might be the most underappreciated defensive player in the league. Watch what he does to rookie Colton Miller here. Pushes him right down, knocks him down, ball loose. This was in London. Frank Clark hit 2.5 sacks, had 1 taken away for a penalty, and then missed the last 1.5 because he wasn't feeling well. But here, he knocks Colton Miller into Derek Carr. That is a one-man wrecking. We love Khalil Mack. Frank Clark is having that kind of year up in Seattle right now. Look at it one more time.
Tank.
Watch 77, a first-round pick. Sorry, dude. Out of here.
Peter, perfect for the millennial segment. A guy named Colton.
Yeah, Colton, millennial, and he's falling down. Last play. Down 5. The Buccaneers have a shot at the end zone, and they ran this play. Jameis Winston's going to go. Everyone killed this play. So why didn't you throw it?
All right,
watch Adam Humphries. If they get the ball to Adam Humphries right here, as they should, look at Deshaun Jackson sitting wide open. If Adam Humphries takes that ball there, Deshaun Jackson's wide open. The play was for Adam Humphries to be pitched it, who would then pitch again.
Like a rugby line.
Watch Adam Humphries and Deshaun.
It would have worked.
It was there. The play was there. The NFL already ruled that it was legal. If he gives the ball to Humphries there, he goes and he could pitch it down to Deshaun, who's wide open with no one paying attention to him. It was so close to being the coolest play ever, bro, but it wasn't. It wasn't. Humphries should have gotten it earlier from Jameis.
That would have been an all-timer.
And it was all legal.
Oh, my gosh.
The NFL ruled on it, said it was all legal, but we didn't get it. Cool play, bro, just not cool enough.
Oh, dude.
Cool play,
Colton.
bro.
Cool play, bro. That's
What's up, bro? Let's get a night, Colton.
This is our show.
What's up?
Hey, bro, let me get this.
What filter you got?
What's up, Colton?
Hey, that's good.
I